Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec, back with another video for you guys. In today's video, we are going to continue on with the Junior Penetration Tester learning path. This is also part of Complete Beginner. As you can see here, we are in the Web Hacking Fundamentals area, and we are on the Burp Suite, the Basics room. An introduction to using Burp Suite for web application pen testing. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Welcome to Burp Suite Basics. This particular room aims to understand the basics of Burp Suite Web Application Security Testing Framework. Our focus will revolve around the following key aspects. 1. A thorough introduction to Burp Suite. 2. A comprehensive overview of the various tools available within the framework. 3. Detailed guidance on the process of installing Burp Suite on your system. 4. Navigating and configuring Burp Suite. We will also introduce the core of the Burp Suite framework, which is the Burp Proxy. It is important to note that this room primarily serves as a foundational resource for acquiring knowledge about Burp Suite. Subsequent rooms in the Burp Suite module will adopt a more practical approach. Thus, this room will contain a greater emphasis on the theoretical content. If you have not yet utilized Burp Suite, it is recommended to carefully read the provided information and actively engage with the tool. Experimentation is essential for grasping the fundamentals of the framework. Combining the information presented here with hands-on exploration will establish a strong foundation for utilizing the framework. This will significantly assist you in future rooms. So basically, you're saying this is going to be a lot of reading. All right, task number 2 here. What is Burp Suite? In essence, Burp Suite is a Java-based framework designed to serve as a comprehensive solution for conducting web application penetration testing. It has become the industry standard tool for hands-on security assessments of web and mobile applications, introducing or including those that rely on application program interface APIs. Simply put, Burp Suite captures and enables manipulation of all HTTP/HTTPS traffic between a browser and a web server. This fundamental capability forms the backbone of the framework. By intercepting requests, users have the flexibility to route them to various components within the Burp Suite framework, which we will explore in upcoming sections. The ability to intercept, view, and modify web requests before they reach the target server, or even manipulate responses before they are received by a browser, makes Burp Suite an invaluable tool for manual web application testing. Right, this is the pretty much the gold standard, as I said here, of web application testing, penetration testing, bug bounty stuff like that. And then it deals with web application security. You're probably going to be using Burp or come across it. The other alternative is OWASP Zap, which is similar to Burp. It's a free open source tool out there, whereas Burp has a free version, which is the community version, which we'll probably go over here in a second. But anyway, this is an example infographic thing that they present here, right? You got your client, which is your laptop or whatever, which is running Burp Proxy, and then you got it going to the actual, like, I guess, server on the internet somewhere, right? And then you're messing with stuff inside of Burp, right? You're manipulating the data, the information inside of Burp. Burp Suite is available in different editions. For our purposes, we will focus on the Burp Suite Community Edition, which is the free version, which is freely accessible for non-commercial use within legal boundaries. However, it's worth noting that Burp Suite also offers professional and enterprise editions, which come with advanced features and required licensing. Number 1, Burp Suite Professional is an unrestricted version of Burp Suite Community. It comes with features such as an automated vulnerability scanner, a fuzzer/brute forcer that isn't rate limited, saving projects for future use, and reports generation, a built-in API to allow integration with other tools, etc., etc. In short, Burp Suite Professional is a highly potent tool, making it a preferred choice for professionals in the field. Number 2, Burp Suite Enterprise. In contrast to the community and professional editions, is primarily utilized for continuous scanning. It features an automated scanner that periodically scans web applications for vulnerabilities, similar to how tools like Nessus perform automated infrastructure scanning. Unlike the other editions, which allow manual attacks from a local machine, Burp Suite Enterprise resides on a server and constantly scans the target web applications for potential vulnerabilities. Due to requiring a license for Burp Professional and Enterprise editions, we will focus on the core feature sets provided by the Burp Suite Community Edition. The provided demonstrations utilize Burp Suite for Windows, however, the functionality remains consistent with the versions installed on the attack box. Which edition of the Burp Suite runs on a server and provides constant scanning. Well, that was the enterprise version as we saw up here, so it's going to be Burp Suite Enterprise. I've only used Burp Suite Community and Professional, and with Professional, the last time I used it, you couldn't just sign up with like a Yahoo email or Gmail account. You had to have an actual business email account. Burp Suite is frequently used when attacking web applications and blank applications. This is going to be mobile applications. So go ahead and submit this answer. Task number 3. Features of Burp Community. Although Burp Community offers a more limited feature set compared to the Professional Edition, it still provides an impressive array of tools that are highly valuable for web application testing. Let's explore some of the key features. You got the proxy. The Burp proxy is the most renowned aspect of Burp Suite. It enables interception and modification of requests and responses while interacting with web applications. Now, there's quite a few items to read here, so I'm just going to read a few of them. Make sure to pause the video and read the rest yourself, or just go to the actual room. Repeater, another well-known feature. Repeater allows for capturing, modifying, and resending the same request multiple times. This functionality is particularly useful when creating payloads through trial and error, e.g., in SQLi, SQL injection, structured query language injection, or testing the functionality of an endpoint for vulnerabilities. Intruder, despite rate limitations in Burp Suite Community, Intruder allows for spraying endpoints with requests. It is commonly utilized for brute force attacks or fuzzing endpoints. And you got decoder, compare, and sequencer. Beyond the built-in features, the Java code base of Burp facilitates the development of extensions to enhance the framework's functionality. These extensions can be written in Java, Python using the Java Jython interpreter, or Ruby using the Java JRuby interpreter. The Burp Suite Extender module allows for quick and easy loading of extensions into the framework, while the marketplace known as BApp Store enables downloading of third-party modules. While certain extensions may require a professional license for integration, there are still a considerable number of extensions available for Burp Community. For instance, Logger++ module can extend the built-in logging functionality of Burp Suite. All right, some questions. Which Burp Suite module allows us to intercept requests between ourselves and the target? Well, that's going to be the proxy. That's like the most well-known thing inside of Burp Suite, right? What Burp Suite tool would we use to brute force a login form? Well, that's going to be Intruder, right? To send multiple or to send a lot of requests out, right? So Intruder, and the next task, we're going to talk about installation. So task number 4. Burp Suite is one of those tools that is very useful to have around, whether for web or mobile application assessments, pen testing, bug bounty hunting, or even debugging features in web app development. Here's a guide on installing Burp Suite on different platforms, so check it out if you're interested. Note, if you use the attack box, Burp Suite is already installed, so you can skip this step. And be sure to read through this. I already have it installed. I'm going to use the attack box if needed, so be sure to read through this, learn how to install or download and install Burp Suite if you don't have it already on your Kali box, on your another Linux box, Mac OS, Windows, etc. And let's see here. If you have chosen not to use the attack box, ensure that you copy a Burp. All right. So I'm going to use the attack box whenever we get around to it. Task number 5, the dashboard. Hey everybody, just a quick little blurb here. As you can see here, most people that view my channel are not subscribers. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're enjoying the video, please consider hitting the like button. It helps get me in the algorithm, helps spread the good word out there, helps bring more people and increase our glorious community here. All right, I'm all about helping out others. I know what it's like to come up in cybersecurity or even try to get into cybersecurity and not knowing where to look. I'm just having this channel up so I can help out other people. All right, that's all I got. All right, task 5, the dashboard. You may use the pre-installed Burp Suite Community Version Edition in your attacks box. To launch the attack box, we already did that. All right, we've already on this section here, so once let's just click past all this. So you can click next, use the defaults, and start Burp. So let's go ahead and continue on here. Upon opening Burp Suite for the first time, you might encounter a screen with training options. It's highly recommended to go through these training materials when you have the free time. If you don't see the training screen or in subsequent sessions, you will be presented with the Burp dashboard, which may seem overwhelming at first. However, it will soon become familiar. The Burp dashboard is divided into 4 quadrants as labeled in the counterclockwise order starting from the top left. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this picture. 1, task. The task menu allows you to define background task that Burp Suite will perform while you use the application. In the Burp Suite community, the default live passive crawl task, which automatically logs the page visited, is sufficient for our purposes in this module. Burp Suite Professional offers additional features like on-demand scans. And that's the section here, as you can see in the screenshot. Number two, event log. The event log provides information about the actions performed by Burp Suite, such as starting the proxy, as well as details about the connections made through Burp. And number three, issue activity. This section is specific to the Burp Suite Professional. It displays the vulnerabilities identified by automated scanner ranked by severity and filterable based on the certainty of the vulnerability. So that's what it looks like. You have the pro version, which we don't have. And 4 is down here, the advisory stuff here. So let's see what it says. The advisory section provides more detailed information about the identified vulnerabilities, including references and suggested recommendations. The information can be exported into a report. In Burp Suite Community, this section may not show any vulnerabilities. Throughout the various tabs in Windows Burp Suite, you will notice question marks like the following here. But we already have one there. Clicking on these icons opens a new window with helpful information specific to that section. These help icons are invaluable when you need assistance or clarification on a particular feature, so make sure to utilize them effectively. Yeah, so click on the question mark if you're unfamiliar with something in here, apparently. And I'm clicking on it, but nothing is happening. Anyway, let's continue on. By exploring the different tabs and functionalities of Burp Suite, you will gradually become familiar with its capabilities. Answer questions. What menu provides information about the actions performed by Burp Suite, such as starting the proxy and details about connections made through Burp? All right, now if we scroll up here, we can see that it's going to be the event log. So let's go ahead and copy this and paste and continue on. Okay, it just took a while to load up finally. That's the thing about the attack machine. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's not. But let's continue on here to task number 6, navigation. In Burp Suite, the default navigation is primarily done through the top menu bars, which allow you to switch between modules and access various subtabs. Within each module, the subtabs appear in a second menu bar directly below the main menu bar. Here's how the navigation works. Number 1, module selection. The top row of the menu bar displays the available modules in Burp Suite. You can click on each module to switch between them. For example, the Burp Proxy module is selected in the image below. So if you click on Proxy, so it looks like target C. Number 2, subtabs. If a selected module has multiple subtabs, they can be accessed through the second menu bar that appears directly below the main menu bar. These subtabs often contain module-specific settings and options. For example, in the image above, the proxy intercept subtab is selected within the Burp module or proxy module, and they're talking about this here. All right, number 3, detaching tabs. If you prefer to view multiple tabs separately, you can detach them into separate windows. To do this, go to Window option in the application menu above the module selection bar. From there, choose Detach option, and the selected tab will open in a separate window. The detached tabs can be reattached using the same method. So be sure to try that out if you're interested in separating out these tabs. I'm not going to do it. Burp Suite also provides keyboard shortcuts for quick navigation to key tabs. By default, the following shortcuts are available. So be sure to read through these shortcuts, memorize them if you plan to. And we're going to get down to some questions here. It says, what tab? Control plus Shift plus P will switch us to. That's going to be the proxy tab. So I'm just going to copy and paste this information, and then it will continue on to task number 7. We're going to talk about options. Before diving into the Burp proxy, let's explore the available options for configuring Burp Suite. There are 2 types of settings: global settings, also known as user settings, and project settings. Global settings. These settings affect the entire Burp Suite installation and are applied every time you start the application. They provide a baseline configuration for your Burp Suite environment. Project settings. These settings are specific to the current project and apply only during the session. However, please note that Burp Suite Community Edition does not support saving projects, so any project-specific options will be lost when you close Burp. To access the settings, click on the Settings button in the top navigation bar. This will open a separate settings window. So if you click settings over here, like so, there we go. It's a separate window. To access settings, click on settings, blah, blah, blah. Below is an image showing the separate settings window, which we have open. In the settings window, you'll find a menu on the left-hand side. This menu allows you to switch between different types of settings, include 1, search, 2, type, filters, the settings, user, project options. You got user settings, project settings, and then categories. All right, so 1, 2, and 3. And it's worth noting that many tools within Burp Suite provide shortcuts to specific categories of settings. For example, the proxy module includes a proxy setting button that opens the settings window directly to the relevant proxy section. That's pretty neat. So you just click on one of these little tab areas and then just click on the settings. It'll take you right to it. Okay. The search feature on the settings page is a valuable addition, allowing you to quickly search for settings using keywords. Take some time to familiarize yourself with the range of configurable options in Burp Suite. Once you are comfortable, you can proceed with the exercises related to configuring Burp Suite settings. So be sure to read and understand these settings, how to access them, etc., etc. Question time. In which category can you find a reference to a cookie jar? All right, so if we go through here, look through here, we'll find one that's reference a cookie jar. Maybe we can just type it in here. So let's do cookie jar. All right, cookie jar. Looks like it's going to be in sessions. There we go. And which base category can you find the updates subcategory, which controls the Burp Suite update behavior? Well, I wonder if we can just type it in here. Let's do updates. And so it's going to be in this suite. So suite, what is the name of the subcategory, which allows you to change the key bindings for shortcuts in Burp Suite? This is going to be hotkeys. All right, there's your shortcut stuff in here. And the next one says, if we have uploaded client-side TLS certificates, can we override on a per project basis? Well, it's going to be yes. If you go in here and you search for certificates, and there's TLS here, and you can see client TLS certificates. You can edit this inside of here. Override options for this project only, etc., other stuff down here. All right, let's continue on to task number 8. Introduction to the Burp Proxy. The Burp Proxy is a fundamental and crucial tool within Burp Suite. It enables the capture of requests and responses between the user and a target web server. This intercepted traffic can be manipulated, sent to other tools for further processing, or explicitly allowed to continue to its destination. Key points to understand about the Burp Proxy: intercepting requests. When requests are made through the Burp Proxy, they are intercepted and held back from reaching the target server. The requests appear in the Proxy tab, allowing for further actions such as forwarding, dropping, editing, or sending them to other Burp modules. To disable intercept and allow requests to pass through the proxy without interruption, we click the intercept is on. So it's on right now. You flip it, now it's off. All right, so you have it turned on, and then all the traffic and stuff that's routed to Burp, you'll be able to see it inside of here and control it and everything with forward drop, action, and other crap in there. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. Taking control. The ability to intercept requests empowers testers to gain complete control over web traffic, making it invaluable for testing applications, capture and logging. Burp Suite captures and logs requests made through the proxy by default, even when the interception is turned off. The logging functionality can be helpful for later analysis and review of prior requests. You got the WebSocket support, logs and history. Let's continue on here. Be sure to read through this all the way. Some notable features in the proxy settings: response interception. By default, the proxy does not intercept server responses unless explicitly requested on a per request basis. The intercept responses based on the following rules checkbox, along with the defined rules, allows for a more flexible response interception. Match and replace. The match and replace section in the proxy settings enables the use of regular expressions, regex, to modify incoming and outgoing requests. The feature allows for dynamic changes such as modifying the user agent or manipulating cookies. Take the time to explore and experiment with proxy options, as this will enhance your understanding and proficiency within the tool. So get in here and play around with these settings. etc. Get familiar with it, and let's continue on. I've already started up this machine we're going to be targeting. Start the machine. I already did that. Use the perp. Configure our local web browser to redirect traffic through Burp Suite. And this task will be focusing on configuring the proxy using the Proxy extension. Please note the instructions are specific for Firefox. If you're using a different browser, it may have alternate method, yada, yada, yada. So let's go ahead and configure this real quick inside of Firefox. All right, here's the extension up here, Proxy. See it's disabled. Now you click on it, enable it. There we go. Now it's going to Burp on port 8080. All right, create a new Burp proxy configuration. Right, you can go to this options here. You click around these options, familiarize yourself with it. Right now, I only have one. If you want to configure another one, just go in here and click this add and fill out the appropriate criteria. All right, that's pretty much what it's explaining here. And since ours is already created, I don't have to do this, so but you can just double check it if you wish. See burp, HTTP 127.0.0.1, port 8080, etc., etc. And let's continue on here. Once you're done with everything, you can click the save option down here to close out of it. And it's already enabled. So it wants us to test the proxy down here. Now, for flying through these instructions, be sure to pause the video and just go through it yourself. If you're using the attack box, it's already configured. But let's go ahead and exit out of this, and we'll just run into this website here. So now we should, actually I need to go back here, and I need to turn on intercept. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and take a look to see where we left off. Congratulations, you have successfully intercepted your first request. All right, so let's go ahead and reload the page. See how it's blinking red, and there's the actual intercept of that transmission, of that request. It says remember the following: when the proxy configuration is active and the intercept is switched on in Burp Suite, your browser will hang whenever you make a request. Be cautious not to leave the intercept switch on unintentionally, as it can prevent your browser from making any request. Right-clicking on a request in Burp Suite allows you to perform various actions such as forwarding, dropping, sending to other tools, or selecting options from the right-click menu. Take note of these details as you begin using the Burp Suite proxy. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on here. Task number 10, site map and issue definitions. The Target tab in Burp Suite provides more than just control over the scope of our testing. It consists of 3 subtabs. I'm not going to read through all these, so be sure to pause the video and read through all the way. Site map. The subtab allows us to map out the web applications we are targeting in a tree structure. Every page that we visit while the proxy is active will be displayed on the sitemap. This feature enables us to automatically generate a sitemap by simply browsing the web application. Issue definitions. Although Burp Suite Community does not include the full vulnerability scanning functionality available in Burp Suite Professional, we still have options to a list of all the vulnerabilities that scanner looks for. The issue definitions section provides an extensive list of web vulnerabilities, complete with descriptions and references and scope settings. This setting allows us to scope the target in Burp Suite. It enables us to include or exclude specific domains/IPs to define the scope of our testing. Overall, the Target tab offers features beyond scoping, allowing us to map out web applications, fine-tune our target scope, and access a comprehensive list of the web vulnerabilities for reference purposes. Challenge: take a look around on the site. We will be using this a lot throughout this module. Visit every other page that is linked on the homepage, then check your sitemap. One endpoint should stand out as being very unusual. Visit in your browser or use the response action or section of the sitemap entry for that endpoint. What's the flag you discover when visiting an unusual endpoint? So let's go ahead and play around with this and see what we can find. Now, as you navigate your way through the web page or the website, be sure to go to Proxy and turn off intercept so you can uh, track everything you're going into. It's tracking the history of everything. Now, once you do that, you go through, play around with it. You'll notice that there's a ticket option inside of there. As you can see here, the refer is ticket, and I think I submitted a ticket or something, right? But anyway, as you're going through and you check your web history, you'll come across this odd-looking URL. And as you go through and you select this URL, just copy URL, and then you just open up the URL inside of like Firefox or something, right? And you just navigate to it, and you get the flag. So there you go for that one, and we'll continue on to task number 11. All right, task number 11 is the Burp Suite browser, which I rarely use, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. If the previous task seemed overly complex, rest assured this topic will be a lot simpler. In addition to modifying our regular web browser to work with the proxy, Burp Suite also includes a built-in Chromium browser that is pre-configured to use the proxy without any of the modifications we just had to do. To start the Burp proxy or Burp browser, click the Open Browser button in the Proxy tab. So navigate to Proxy and then Open Browser. A Chromium window will pop up, and any request made in this browser will go through the proxy. Oh, okay. Allow burp without a sandbox. So let's go ahead and select that, and then that's it. So let's go ahead, let's try this again. Open browser. There we go. Note that there are many settings related to the Burp browser, any project options and other or end user options settings. Make sure to explore and customize them as needed. However, if you are running Burp Suite on Linux as the root user, as in this case with the attack box may encounter an error preventing the Burp browser from starting due to inability to create a sandbox environment, which we just encountered. There are two simple solutions to this. Smart option: create a new user and run Burp Suite under a low privileged account to allow the Burp browser to run without issues while we're inside this attack box. So I'm not too concerned about that. But if you're in like a production environment or something, maybe that's something you should do. Easy option, which you've already done here, so I'm not going to go over that. And let's continue on to task number 12. All right, scoping and targeting. Finally, we come to one of the most important aspects of using the Burp proxy, scoping. Capturing and logging all of the traffic can quickly become overwhelming and inconvenient, especially when we only want to focus on a web application. This is where scoping comes in. By setting a scope for the project, we can define what gets proxied and logged in Burp Suite. We can restrict Burp Suite to target only the specific web pages we want to test. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this browser real quick. And if you go over to target, see how mine's all cleaned up now. I used to have a bunch of other junk in there I didn't want. All I did was right click on it and then add to scope, right? So you can remove from scope, you can add to scope, all that good stuff, right? So add to scope, and that's what I'm going to be looking at here. And this is taking you to the, I guess, the long way of doing it. But let's go ahead and continue on to learn how to do it this way. So if you go to this and you go to scope here, and for some reason I didn't want to extend all the way, you can go in, you can type in the applicable information in both of these boxes here, if it'll let me grab it. All right, so you go in here, you can go to add, type it in, there you go. You can paste the URL. Same thing at the bottom, add, edit, remove, load, etc. So be sure to go through this area here if you haven't done so already. I've already have this into my scope, so I'm not too concerned about it. And let's see here. To check our scope, we can switch to the Scope Settings sub-tab, which we've already done. The Scope Settings window allows us to control our target scope by including or excluding domain IPs. This section is powerful and worth spending time to getting familiar with, definitely. However, even if we disable logging, if we're out of scope traffic, the proxy will still intercept everything. To prevent this, we need to go to the Proxy Settings sub-tab and select, and URL is in target scope. All right, so we need to go down to the proxy settings. All right. All right, there we go. And let's see here. All right, so we have to select and URL is in scope. You know, look at these rules here, and like URL is in scope. Okay, there we go. You click OK. But let's go ahead and continue on. Intercept client request. So if you don't have these set in here, be sure to configure these. Enabling this option ensures the proxy completely ignores any traffic that is not within the defined scope. And it wants us to add this, so let's go ahead and copy and paste this over inside to only intercept traffic to in-scope items. To see the difference between the amount of traffic being caught by the proxy before and after limiting the scope. So let's go ahead and just edit the one I already had in here, match condition, type this in, hit OK. All right. Let me just take a look at this one real quick. Okay, there's nothing in there, but this one did save and it's enabled. So that should filter out a lot of the noise that you don't want to see. And let's just exit out of here. All right. So make sure to take a look at the before and after, as it was talking about, and you can see the stark difference between the two. Now we're going to continue on to task number 13. We're going to be talking about proxy HTTPS. Sorry, note the attack box is already configured to solve the problem posed in the task. If you use the attack box and don't wish to read through the information here, you can skip this entire task. So if this is not, I'm using attack box, it's already done. So apparently, if you have not done this, be sure to read through it and complete it as instructed here. Basically, it just looks like you're adding certificates to the browser. This is what I'm getting from this. Yeah, trust the CA certificate. All right, so this is already done. Task number 14. That'll keep that. If you don't have the certificate in there from Burp, then every time you got try to go to a site, you'll get some kind of like pop-up page that says you can't trust this certificate or something like that, I believe. But let's go on to task number 14, example attack. Having looked at how to set up and configure our proxy, let's go through a simplified real-world example. We will start by taking a look at the support form and tickets, which I did take a look at earlier. So let's just navigate back over to Firefox here. All right, so we're already in there, and they want us to take a look at the ticket area. So let's go ahead and get in there. In a real-world web app pen test, we would test this for a variety of things, one of which would be cross-site scripting or XSS. If you have not encountered XSS, it can be thought of as injecting a client-side script, usually in JavaScript, into a web page in such a way that it executes. There are various kinds of XSS. The type that we are using here is referred to as reflected XSS, as it only affects the person making the web request. Walkthrough. Try typing the following here, which is some kind of script. This is going to be that alert pop-up message, right? Into the contact email. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this over. And did it save in here? Okay. Which you should find the client-side filter prevents you from adding any special characters. Okay. Fortunately for us, client-side filters are absurdly easy to bypass. There are a variety of ways we could disable the script or just prevent it from loading in the first place. Let's focus on simply bypassing the filter for now. First, make sure that Burp proxy is active and that intercept is on. Well, let's go back over here into proxy and make sure this is turned on. There we go. Now let's jump back over to Firefox. Now enter some legitimate data into the form, pen tester, whatever. So I already had some stuff in here, so test, and this is a test. Test attack as a query, whatever. All right. First, make sure that your Burp proxy is active. Intercept. Sorry, I backread a little bit. Submit the form. The request should be intercepted by the proxy. So submit, and it's blinking, so we know it's been intercepted, and this is what it looks like here. With the request captured in the proxy, we can now change the email field to be our very simple payload, which is this. So copy that. After pasting in the payload, we need to select it, then URL encode it with Control U shortcut to make it safe to send. This process is shown in the GIF below. So let's take this out of here and type this in. So if we go ahead and highlight it, and then we can hit Control U, URL encoded. There we go. Successful SSX. All right. Now let's go ahead and continue on here because you have to press the forward button, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Conclusion. Task number 15. Congratulations on completing the Burp Basics room. You now have a solid understanding of the Burp Suite interface, configuration options, and the Burp proxy. These skills will be essential as you continue your journey in web and mobile application penetration testing. To further enhance your skills, I encourage you to practice an environment, experiment with the Burp, etc., etc. In the next room of the module, we'll dive deeper into Burp Suite Repeater, another powerful tool for manual testing and manipulation of web application requests. Stay curious and keep learning. All right, we can know the fundamentals, so click complete, and that'll wrap up the video. Thank you all for taking the time to watch my video. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button with the notification bell so you know every time I post. If you're liking the content, be sure to hit that like button. It's free, doesn't cost anything, helps out the channel, helps get the good word out there, and comment below on your thoughts and opinions. As always, see you later. Have a good day.